Okay, we're just discussing shooting a video that we have to tell people to watch.
Well, it's like a library, the internet. There's so much information out there. If they don't know about it, how are they going to look at it?
Right.
Well, you know, it's like NBC. They keep telling you to watch Smash. They run those commercials over and over again. Who wants to watch Smash?
A friend of mine was just in England. He said over in England there are so many lilacs or so many daffodils in England, they're like the ads for Hollywood movies. Here's all we get is ads for Hollywood movies here, right?
Your continuity amazes me.
We don't have to have continuity. There is no narrative.
Talk about used cars and you come up with daffodils. I don't know how you go from
Because you're talking about, you're worrying too much. Just go along with it. There is no narrative. You're waiting for a narrative. You're in the wrong city.
Wow, look who's educated.
Everybody's monologue.
Yeah.
You have your monologue and I listen to your monologue.
I don't understand why they tell you that the president's going to make a speech and he's going to talk about used cars and the economy, and then he comes on and he talks about used cars and the economy, and after he finishes they tell you he just talked about used cars and the economy.
And did was the economy helped?
What is the advantage of that? Is that
well, that's just for the benefit of CNN. They need content.
But don't you diminish the viewership when you say what he's going to talk about and tell you his speech before he makes the speech?
Because the Republicans
it seems to me that they have to drive it into people's heads, you know, that he's going to say this, so watch it, and then afterwards they tell you what he just said.
You mean that they're not smart enough just to hear it the first time?
I don't think so.
They hear it once, they hear it the second time, they understand.
But on television, they tell you the same thing over
repetition,
and over again,
you know?
Right? You know, anybody who's going to the television and then they tell everybody, we already know that. You got to go to the source. Look at the books. Don't look at what they tell you is in the books, right? If they tell you what's in the books, how do you know it's in the books? You don't know. They got books for you and they got books for themselves. How do you know?
I don't know. I don't look at too many books anymore.
It's in the book. The Italians say it's in the book.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's in the book.
Huh?
In the book. D.A. Yeah, it's like I live in the Bronx.
How do those accents start? Why do people in New York say tight street?
Yeah, toity.
Why
I don't know.
People in the South say you all. How does that happen?
Yeah, who's the guy who sat down and wrote that?
I mean,
that's a very good question.
Thank you.
Why does a dialect change? It's a dialect.
Yes.
Why does it change from here to here?
Yeah.
To here?
Well,
Where does it live?
That's an explanation for that also.
It has to do with environment. It has to do with physical and genetics, right?
If you live in the South, you have a great many black people and brown people. And their diction is a little heavier.
why is that? From Africa? They talk like that in Africa? They don't talk like that in Africa. Look, how did they get it here?
How they get it here? As slaves.
No, I know that's how they get it. But how did they get their accent?
Very simple. You go to the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Yes.
Well, years ago it was different. Talk about years ago. We had a great many people of the Jewish faith. They speak Yiddish. What is Yiddish?
Yiddish is anything a German don't understand.
I like that.
That's why they drove it so but it was mostly to disguise what they were saying, because they were always around the enemy. And they like pigeon in the islands, those natives talk to each other. You can't understand the word they're talking. But they can talk English just like you know?
The former governor of the Virgin Islands, he spoke entirely different than I did.
Really?
He was born down there. He's a guy of the Jewish faith, went to a Catholic school, the only school down there, went to and learned how to live with the natives, who all the natives all converted to Catholicism, And they spoke like a mixture of white, black, and Catholicism.
How did they convert them to Catholicism, which is fascinating? Well, what do they know about Catholicism?
What do they know about it?
Yeah.
Very, very simple.
They got to talk in their terms, don't they?
Very simple. Missionaries would go all over. Missionaries still go all over.
I know. Romney was a missionary.
Gathers all these people
Yes.
and teaches them the right thing, the way they feel, and they vibrate to that particular place.
Now, but all the time they were growing up, they were being schooled in another god, the god of wind, and a different faith. Well, all of a sudden you transform over. That must be I guess that's brainwashing, is it?
Very confusing, wasn't it? Brainwashing.
Yeah.
Very confusing. But these people are missionaries. You set the standard of living. They gather 100 natives and you talk to them, convince them to live wisely. You don't only talk to them, you feed them. They want to be fed.
Oh, so they'll learn anything now. How you taking care of their needs and their wants.
And it'd be good to them.
So how do you know whether they really believe in Jesus or a good clumpy sandwich? They're not dumb. They're just Indians.
All right, here's one for you, Ned. The first sound.
See that? It's cute. Yeah. Write it.
Why not?
Marvelous.
I gotta do it. The first word, the first sound was in poetry, and it was a vowel sound, and it came out of Greek. That's what I believe, and that's what a lot of linguists believe. And here's another ingredient. Anglo-Saxon 1 and 2 syllables. The Latinate, there's several syllables. So that affects the way people speak too, right? Short or long. My second oldest brother was a Presbyterian missionary. It has to do with climate too, right? I mean, when I first went to New York, coming from the Midwest, you know, people say pulpy. I used to think New Yorkers spoke funny, and they would pronounce the T's and the G's, so a little lazier out in the Midwest. New York, quicker tempo, right? It wasn't Yiddish an oral language, oral Yiddish. It wasn't oral.
It was written, yeah.
But originally, wasn't it just oral? Wasn't it oral originally, just before it was written?
Actually, I think it originated because they were always close to their enemy. And they devised a means of communication to deceive the enemy. It's like the slaves, you know, they had their own language among themselves that the white boss couldn't understand, right?
Anybody where does speech
well, that's one. I just told you, a sound coming out of poetry. If you look back, you guys, I'm sure you've read Homer's Odyssey and the Iliad, right? Homer,
Definitely.
okay, here's something you may or may not know.
You want page 247?
Here's something. You know how it was oral. And then around 615 to 575, when the Greek alphabet came in, it became written down. But if you look back, no, but let me finish. 1615 to 545, Greek language. But here's the thing: if you look back at the original Greek, they're all written in capital letters, and there's no spaces.
well, you know,
Wow, what a information. You gotta back that up.
That is, you go look up at the, go to Getty.
You gotta give out that much information a little slower. Not everybody read the entire Iliad. Maybe they left it out 5
I'm sure you've read it many times. I'm sure you've read a translation by Lattimore, Fitzgerald. I'm sure you've read
You not only read the book, you read somebody else's opinion.
I don't read Greek. It's a translation. How do you read it? It's not
How do you know what
translated.
you're talking about?
Well, there's I've read about it.
you believe in Adam and Eve?
It's a metaphor.
So they know the
What is the origin of a human being, of civilization? Do you believe in Adam and Eve? I don't believe in Adam and Eve.
I believe it's a metaphor. The Bible is a metaphor, right?
We have
Yeah, metaphors, yeah. Chicken and the egg, you know.
Paganism, right? Before it was paganism, then Christianity, Judaism
got to get the dates right. When did paganism start?
That he came from an ape?
When did paganism
Do you
start?
think he came from an ape who walked on all fours? Now, science will
I
say
came
it's
from my mother.
Like an ape.
I came from my mother.
That's no word.
Science tells you he came from an ape. I don't believe that.
All right.
And we generally, as centuries went by, we started to stand up.
Evolution. We believe in evolution. We believe in evolution.
I don't believe that.
I think we're aliens.
Here to me is the deepest, cleanest seed is a man and a woman next holding each other. That's where we came from, man and woman. I came from my mother, right?
That's true. Where'd your mother come from?
Her mother.
How do you know you can? You took your word, your mother's word.
I got it written down. It's in the book.
So who came first? Adam or Eve?
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Came first, Adam or Eve.
Remember that IHOP commercial? The guys, two guys walking down the street and he said, "What came first, the chicken or the egg?" And the guy said, "I don't know."
Let's have pancakes.
The Bible was written not by God, by a human being.
Judaism first.
And as the next human being read it, he changed it a little bit.
Always there's an editor. Always somebody knows a little better than that guy.
Well, I wonder what came first, corned beef or pastrami?
Corned beef was
Brisket.
a pie. It was a
Brisket came first.
Brisket came first.
No, isn't brisket one of those meats cooked differently?
Yeah,
Brisket, and then they...
brisket is corned beef.
Oh, they're all beef, right? They're all
Yeah, it starts with beef and the same cut.
Isn't that amazing? From that one cow you get pastrami and you get the brisket
And corned beef.
corned beef.
and horseradish
It gives so much, that cow.
and milk.
That's amazing.
You can't milk a male cow, right? Female cow.
You could try it. I don't know what you get. You can't milk a male cow, right?
You can't milk that.
He said you can't milk a male cow. I said you can here in Hollywood.
Well, Harry, you're from the Midwest. I mean, you know all about that kind of stuff. Animal husbandry and all that.
Cows are so peaceful, so amazing. They put those 4 feet down and they stand there.
But Harry, you come from that school of knocking cows over, don't you?
When I grew up, we used to go out on Saturday night and we'd tip over a cow. You ever do that?
No, but I heard that somewhere before.
Tippy cows.
What's your final answer about the dialects?
Dialects, I don't know. That's a real mystery. I don't know why somebody in the South has to talk different. Except like among Alaskans, they murmur almost. They don't talk.
Yeah.
That was from the Poles. When we saw some Poles over time that they,
Their jaw freezes up.
I can see the environment affecting that,
And education.
New York City fast because there's
Education.
Education.
Because you know, while your mom or dad are reading you when you're young, you're here, right?
Your mom and dad read to you.
They're constantly undergoing education. That's what I'm going for. You don't have to go to school. Hey, Lincoln didn't go to school.
You did.
So it's constantly changing. That's up to the individual.
Is there any scholastic requirement to be president of the United States?
God, no.
You don't have to be a college graduate.
Well, George W. Bush just bought his graduation.
Is there any bottom? Can you actually be declared too stupid?
No.
President?
No.
You mean
That's stupid president. Don't say it.
no, you can't. So
Yeah, we've been there before. We've
that
experienced.
guy from Texas is
There's
absolutely
no education.
I mean, how about Dan Quayle? He was vice president.
He wasn't president.
Well, he could have been. He was George H.
no
Bush's.
scholastic requirement want to live?
No.
There's an age.
No, just as long as you're born here.
44 years old. You got to have a certain amount of money for all those TV ads.
Yeah, it's all about money.
Right?
So what's our word of the day, guys? We're at the end of our show.
35 years old. 35. 35, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
35 years old.
The word for the day. What word can you give us for the day? Think of a word that you'd like to leave us. One word. Yeah, for the day. One word.
One word. What's our thought of the day?
I would pick a universal word.
Pick it.
Love.
Oh, that's right.
Love is the word of the day.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ned.
That's a good way.
Ned Rose, 100 years old.
Wow.
Don Sherman, 42. And Harry Northup, 37.
And Dave,
And David Lloyd Glover, me.
Golden voice of all time.
his voice is incredible. His voice is on all those answering phones.
Yeah, the answer phone voice. Movie phone.
American voice is incredible.
We've got it.
Canada.
That's why I have the all-American voice. I'm from Canada. Okay.
This is a great day, huh? Ned on.
Good night.
You guys talking. That's great.
See you next time.